We had decided to get up and scout again that morning, but it was so foggy, I mean, we couldn't see anything. I think the birds stayed on the ground. And so finally, we just pulled into a little gravel turnoff where a section road started and decided to wait there until the fog lifted. Well, guess what? The fog started lifting. We started hearing geese right where we were. Again, scouting is the key. You got to find them, and so that's what we were trying to do.
Certainly, we had a little bit of an advantage. Ducks Unlimited Canada has a variety of field stations and offices throughout the prairies. And we were able to make some contacts, both for hunting purposes, but also to show us a little bit about what they're doing up here on the prairies.
We've identified some 31 target landscapes. Of those, we've selected 14 that are high priority. The Allen Hills, the Missouri Coteau, which is south of us here, are really the top priority right now.
Conservation easements, because they're still relatively new, and given that we've got about 65,000 acres across the prairies now, I would see that increasing to a few 100,000 acres over the next 5 to 10 years.
Ranchers, as part of their farming operation, manage most of the perennial cover on the Canadian prairies. Therefore, they also manage most of the nesting cover in the Canadian prairies. As a partner, DU works with them to convert cultivated lands to perennial cover, but also to manage their rangeland to make them more money and be more sustainable, but also to provide better nesting cover.
The prairies were settled about 100 years ago. We've had up to 90% wetland loss in some parts of the region. Some of those parts of the region were very important historically to nesting waterfowl. We wanted to restore waterfowl populations to meet continental goals under the North American Waterfowl Management Plan. Now's the time to act and work on conservation efforts, restoration efforts, before more habitat's lost.
Oh, let's get out.
Here comes the duck.
Elvis.
First pintail of the trip on Manitoba. Mike, are you going to be able to see to take that shot around that corner?
It's going to be hard. I might have to take
You know, one thing about freelancing, you're always looking to improve your situation. And Mike and I were sitting up there on the corner of that pond, and we had the 2 pintails come in and got one of those, but we kept seeing groups of green-winged teal that would come over the pond and they would rush up to the left edge around a corner where we couldn't see. And also had 2 or 3 big ducks going up there, so I'm starting to get a little itchy. So I told Mike, I said, I'm going to go up there and look around that corner or look around that point and see if there's a better place to hunt up there than where we are here. And it was a good-looking spot, and I was kind of wondering if we ought to move, and about that time, I saw another duck pitch in and just went right into our decoys. So, okay, let's give it a try. Let's stay with it a little bit longer. I don't think the ducks are feeding. There's nothing in the field behind us.
Yeah. Well, there's something's I mean, I don't know if that's field over that edge or another wetland, but.
Well, but what I mean is I don't think there's any big numbers of ducks feeding out like they did yesterday. Yeah. I think the bulk of the ducks are probably still sitting on the pond somewhere. We haven't seen any geese. I think this wind's got them kind of stymied a little bit.
Oh, right out front, right out front.
Shoot him, he sure is shooting. Like I'm saying, I really like this place. I think this is the spot we need to stay in.
I think we should move, Wade.
Oh man, look at the ducks coming off the field now. Here comes a wide now coming over that hill.
Fetch him here.
There's no better conservation tool in the field than a well-trained retriever. Here's how Drake the DU dog does it.
Duck hunting for the most part is a cold business. Extremely cold conditions impact the dog handler and his ability to keep his dog warm and dry in the field. Here are a few considerations. Cold water depletes the energy of the water dog and can be dangerous to the dog's welfare unless precautions are taken. Preparation is the #1 key to success. Make sure your dog is in great physical condition and thoroughly acclimated to cold weather months before the hunt. A bit of extra body fat is a good insulation as long as it's not overdone. A balanced diet of high-energy dog food is necessary to build the dog's capacity to withstand cold temperatures. Energy equals body temperature. For the hunting dog living indoors, it's time to move outside for longer periods, even overnight, to promote weather acclimation. Taking a dog straight from a warm house to a frigid duck blind may prove difficult. Don't overbathe the hunting dog, especially a lab or a chessie. Shampoos remove the natural oils in the dog's coat that displace water. A thick oily coat is vital to the water dog's capability to shed water. On the hunt, I keep Drake high and dry as much as possible using water stands, elevated seats in the blind, or even a stump will do. Finally, in handling on retrieves, keep the dog out of the water as much as possible. Line the dog in the shallows or along the edge of the bank rather than the deep water, getting the dog to deliver birds along the most direct route. Running rather than swimming builds body temperature and keeps the dog out of the cold water. Ice-covered water is particularly dangerous. If there are chances that your dog will fall through the ice on a retrieve, don't send them. The results could be tragic. In cold weather, hunters can dress for success. We can pour on waterproof clothing and layers. But what about your dog? You have to make sure your dog is preconditioned to cold weather conditions and make sure that the dog has the proper attire. A water vest and a water stand to stay high and dry out of the water is a must. Your dog will appreciate your special efforts on those frozen mornings. See you next time.